Hi, welcome to Histamine Health Coach, where we navigate life with histamine intolerance and find ways to feel our best. I'm Teresa, your Histamine Health Coach, and today we're diving into a topic that doesn't get talked about nearly enough: histamine intolerance during pregnancy. Before we dive in, I want to be clear. I'm a functional medicine certified health coach, not a physician. Everything I share today is for educational purposes only. If you're pregnant and dealing with histamine intolerance, always talk with your healthcare provider about your specific situation. All right, with that said, let's talk about what pregnancy itself brings to the table. All the changes, the surprises, and sometimes the challenges. Pregnancy already brings so many changes to your body, and if you're managing histamine intolerance on top of that, it can feel confusing, overwhelming, and sometimes isolating. My goal today is to help you understand what's happening in your body, what symptoms you might notice, and some practical ways to manage them so you feel calmer, clearer, and more present in this very special time of expecting your baby. Histamine is a natural chemical that your body makes. It helps with immune responses, gut functions, and even works as a neurotransmitter. Normally, your body keeps histamine in balance with enzymes like DAO and HNMT to break it down. During pregnancy, your hormones shift dramatically. Estrogen and progesterone, in particular, play a big role here. Estrogen tends to increase histamine release from mast cells. So, as estrogen rises throughout pregnancy, histamine symptoms may flare. On the other hand, progesterone often has a calming effect on histamine, so some women actually feel better. That's why not all women have the same experience. Some pregnant women with histamine intolerance notice things get worse, while others feel relief. Keeping a symptom journal during pregnancy can give you extra clarity. It lets you see patterns, specifically with symptom overlap with normal pregnancy changes like nausea, fatigue, or mood swings. Now, before we talk about the symptoms, let's clear up something that often causes confusion: how the immune system actually works during pregnancy. Some people think the immune system completely shuts down so your body doesn't attack the baby. But that's not what really happens. Instead, your immune system recalibrates. Think of it like a thermostat that adjusts the temperature instead of turning the heat off altogether. Here's how that adjustment works. Your innate immune system, your body's first line of defense, stays switched on so that you can still fight off everyday infections. But your adaptive immune system, which normally ramps up strong inflammatory responses, dials back in certain areas so it doesn't overreact to the baby. At the same time, other immune cells step forward to promote tolerance, helping your body welcome the baby instead of rejecting it. And this is where histamine fits in. Mast cells, the immune cells that store and release histamine, respond to these shifts. Rising estrogen during pregnancy makes mast cells more active, which can lead to more histamine being released. Meanwhile, progesterone acts like a calming hand, helping in stabilizing mast cells and reducing histamine release. Because of this push-pull between estrogen and progesterone, some women find their histamine intolerance symptoms get worse, while others notice they actually improve. Now, these shifts in hormone and immune balance don't stay the same the whole way through pregnancy. They actually change from trimester to trimester, and that's why histamine symptoms can look different at different stages. In the first trimester, histamine may add to nausea and fatigue. The second trimester can sometimes feel calmer thanks to progesterone's stabilizing effect. And then in the third trimester, as estrogen peaks, some women notice histamine symptoms return or even flare more strongly. Like so much of pregnancy, the experience is different for every woman. If histamine intolerance is active during pregnancy, you might notice things like nausea and digestive discomfort, rashes, hives, itchy skin, headaches or migraines, fatigue and dizziness, mood swings or anxiety, along with flushing or feeling unusually warm. Here's the tricky part. Many of these symptoms overlap with normal pregnancy changes. Nausea, fatigue, mood swings, even flushing are incredibly common during pregnancy, and they're also hallmark signs of histamine intolerance. That overlap can make it hard to know what's really driving your discomfort. Was that headache just pregnancy related, or was it histamine triggered? This is where a symptom journal becomes invaluable. Making a quick note when symptoms happen, what you've eaten, and what's going on around you can reveal patterns and give you and your healthcare provider a clearer picture. And just to add another layer, many of these same symptoms, like flushing, mood changes, headaches, and fatigue, can also show up during perimenopause. In fact, some women even mistake perimenopause symptoms for pregnancy. And if you'd like to explore that side of the equation, check out episode 17, Hot Flash or Histamine Flush, the perimenopause puzzle. If symptoms are really interfering with your day-to-day life, that's the time to reach out to your healthcare provider. Having a team that understands histamine intolerance, whether it's your OBGYN, an allergist, or a nutritionist, can make all the difference. Together, you can sort out what typical pregnancy and what might be histamine related and create a safe plan that works for you and your baby. And while your healthcare team can help with a big picture, there are also simple everyday steps you can take. One of the first places most of us look is food, because certain foods are well known for building up histamine. Some of those most common culprits include aged cheeses, fermented foods like sauerkraut or yogurt, processed or smoked meats, and certain fishes like tuna or mackerel. Now, fish deserves a special mention. Tuna and mackerel can build up histamine very quickly after being caught, even when stored properly, which makes them difficult for anyone with histamine intolerance. On top of that, some types of fish are on the limit or avoid list during pregnancy because of mercury. For example, king mackerel is considered unsafe, and albacore tuna should be limited. So during pregnancy, it's best to be extra cautious with fish, both for histamine reasons and for your baby's safety. If you're craving seafood, talk with your healthcare provider about safer, lower mercury options that are fresher and less likely to cause histamine issues. But food is only part of the picture. Stress, hormones, and even environmental factors, things like pollen or strong fragrances, can also add to your histamine bucket. Paying attention to all of these factors gives you more control. The good news is fresh whole foods are usually the safer bet. Think colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. Planning meals with fresh ingredients not only lowers your histamine load, but also helps keep you and your baby well nourished. And beyond food, lifestyle habits make a big difference too. Stress, for example, can directly trigger histamine release. During pregnancy, weaving in calming practices can really help. Gentle options include breathing exercises, prenatal yoga, meditation journaling, or even a short mindful walk. Your environment matters as well. Simple adjustments like using an air purifier, choosing fragrance-free products, or keeping windows closed during allergy season can minimize exposures that set off symptoms. Now, here are a few habits you may want to lean on. Making balanced food choices. Stick with fresh, nutrient-rich ingredients. Stay hydrated, because water helps flush out excess histamine. Practice mindfulness throughout the day. Even a few minutes of deep breathing or guided meditation can make a big difference. And don't forget about community. Connecting with others on a similar path while sharing experiences can lighten the load. And finally, a quick note on herbal teas. They can be soothing, but also check with your healthcare provider to make sure they're safe for pregnancy. And before we wrap up, let's take a quick look at what happens after giving birth to your beautiful baby. Your immune system and hormones gradually begin shifting back towards your pre-pregnancy balance. And for many women, that means histamine-related symptoms start to ease within a few months. But if you're breastfeeding, the picture can be a little different. Estrogen usually stays lower, which can help calm histamine for some women. But at the same time, the demands of nursing, things like less sleep, more stress, and higher nutrient needs, can still add to your histamine bucket. Just like during pregnancy, every woman's postpartum experience is unique. And if you're looking for guidance, this is what I do every day. I help women just like you calm histamine symptoms and identify triggers so you can feel clearer, calmer, and more confident. If you'd like more support or you want to explore resources designed to help you take your next step, you can email me at teresa@histaminehealthcoach.com or head to my website, histaminehealthcoach.com. You'll find tips, guides, and tools waiting for you there. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind to yourself, and keep listening to your body. Have a great day.